Good morning, virtual villagers. My name's Kate from What Kate Made. Welcome along to my session this morning. Today we're going to be looking at how to decorate a tote bag. Now, I've done quite a few of these. I used to make bags. At one of the things I can sew on my sewing machine because they're dead easy to make. So it's nice to give them a little bit of embellishment, make them personal. They make great gift bags. So if you're giving gifts to people, it's something they can reuse again and again. Now I'm going to show you a few examples. I'm going to explain about using a ready-made bag and making your own bag. I'm going to start by showing you one of my bags. Now this is really complicated. Don't expect to be able to do something this quick, but this is something I worked on for a long while. So this is my embroidery bag, and it is embroidered, and I do use it for my embroidery things inside it. So I made this bag myself. It's just made from curtain lining material. I was given lots and lots of curtains for making masks and things in lockdown, and the linings make really good bags. It's got very long handles, possibly a bit too long. This one's lined, but you don't normally have to line it. Now, the decoration on it is a quilted panel that I've then embroidered. This side has got bees on it, and it's got a little bit of an embroidered phrase. That's back to front in your it says, "Leave room in your garden for the bees to dance." So as I say, that's all embroidered on there. I've matted it up. Well, I've edged the quilted bit with a nice bit of fabric, and then that's just been sewn onto my bag. If you're going to sew things onto a bag with a sewing machine, if you're making your own bag, sew them on before you put the bag together, because it's really hard to get your bag on your sewing machine, as I've found out. So that's one side. On the other side, I'm not going to show you how to make something like this today, don't worry. Is a different picture. So the watering can has been cut out from fabric and appliqued on, and then I've embroidered. I can't bring it closer, don't let me see that. Some of the flowers on the fabric I've embroidered over them, and the phrase says, "Plant dreams, pull weeds, and grow a happy life." So that's all embroidered on it. So that's mostly embroidery with a little bit of applique. Now, applique is great for bags, particularly if, like me, you use Bonda web to stick things on. So that makes it a lot easier than the keep still while you sew around them. So that was quite a complicated one. What we're going to do today is something much simpler. We're going to use ribbons, we're going to use maybe a little bit of embroidery. I'm going to show you some things with buttons and fabric, things that you can just sew onto your bag or glue onto your bag if you want to. The only thing I would say with Bonda web is, although it sticks it very well, it can start to pull away at the edges after a while, so you're probably better to sew around it, even if it's just a simple running stitch. Now, I'm going to show you the bags. I've got a few examples here. This is the one I'm going to use today, and this is a commercial tote bag. It's made with a sort of unbleached canvas. I think it's like canvas calico. It's just very simple. It's not got any pleating in it. It's got quite decent handles. That's the one I'm going to use today because that's a nice sturdy one. They cost £2 or £3 online. The more you buy, the cheaper they are. So that's the one I'm going to use today. This is one I made yesterday. It's made out of an old tablecloth. So the fabric isn't as thick and as sturdy, but it's the same size. I used that one as a template and sewed it myself. Now, I have done a little photo video tutorial on how to make a bag like this, which I'm going to pop up on my page after the session. So you can make your own bag. I use a lot of reclaimed materials. So like that, the embroidered one I show you is made out of curtain lining material. This one is made out of tablecloth. I did have another one, which I haven't got handy at the moment, that was made out of a thicker, more like a ticking material. Ticking is what they used to make mattresses out of in the old days when they had feather mattresses. This one I've got to show you as well, came in a kit that I'd bought. And the reason I'm showing you this one is because it's got webbing handles. If you can get hold of webbing handles to make the handles, it's good and strong, and it has the advantage there's no sewing involved. This is a smaller bag. It came in a kit that I'd picked up somewhere. That was for a fabric painted bag, and it used stencils, which is one thing. Let me just find one of these stencils that came with it. So it had a phrase on it: small things, do small things with great love, it says. So what you would do is put that on your bag, and you would use fabric paints. You can buy fabric paints, you can buy fabric pens that's set with heat. Recently I did a little workshop with a company called Brush and Tipple, and we painted on bags. It was lovely. I can't show it because I gave it to my friend. But they used ordinary acrylic paint but mixed it with a watered down what's it called, glycerin, and that makes it fast and it makes it flexible so it doesn't crack on your thing. I'll put the details for that as well. So if you've got acrylic paints at home, you can just add that to it and you can make a fabric paint. This is a stencil that came with the bag. I obviously haven't used it yet, so that is a smaller version of the bag. So I'm going to I want to show you what I've got tool wise first. I've got the usual array of scissors, fabric, paper, little nippy ones. I've got needle and thread. I've got a selection of buttons, selection of ribbons, bits of fabric, the Bonda web, and my bag, and some templates. Now, one last thing to show you that I am going to demonstrate for you how to do these. Is I don't know what these are called. I have a feeling they're called yo-yos. Which way? That way. They're like a little fabric circle with a button, and you gather it up and you add the button to the middle. So I'm going to show you those because those are really attractive. They're dead easy to make, minimal sewing skills, minimal equipment needed. So that's what I'm going to start with. So I'll turn the camera down if I can. Just move you back a bit so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so we're visible, aren't we? Let me see if I can get your comments up. This is always a difficult thing for me. I never get it right. There we go. So if you're out there, say hello, give me a wave. I can see what I'm doing, so I know that you can see me. So, oh, there was something else there I meant to show you. I crochet, so little crocheted flowers are beautiful to decorate your bag. So you could use those as well. Right, we're going to go back to these little things, whatever they're called. So you will need a button, you will need a circle of fabric, you will need a needle and thread. These are dead easy to make. I learned how to make these at the WI. So my circle template that I've used is a 4-inch one. That's about the smallest you can get away with. You might need a bigger one. You take your circle of fabric and you want to place it right side down. And with your needle and thread, so I've doubled my thread and then I tie a knot on the end of it. Makes it easier to anchor your gathers so they don't all unravel. I apologise if it's a little traffic noisy today, but because it's so warm, even though it's cloudy, I've got the windows open. I am not good in heat. So you start by anchoring your thread. So you want to make sure it doesn't come out because of the gathers. You don't want your gathers to pop off. And then you simply run a gathering stitch all the way around the edge, about ½ centimetre in. You don't want it too close to the edge or it'll fray. And you just gather it. Now I've got quite a lot of buttons. I've chosen, I don't want you to see that because it's a bit dark, a little painted wooden button. You want your button to be big enough, you'll see in a minute, to cover the centre. Because the centre sort of, when you gather it, it puffs up a bit, so you want it to be able to cover it. So you just keep going round and round the edge. You're making like a little drawstring bag nearly. If anybody knows what these are called, there is a name for it. I've seen them on the internet. Let me know. So you pull your gathers tight, and then what you want to do is secure them. Now I usually wrap my thread around it and then put a few stitches through your gathered bit like that, and that holds it tight, and then just knot it off. But don't cut your thread because you're going to need it again in a minute. So now you've got what looks like a little scrunchy thing. So what you do now is you just pull it flat. So you're pulling your circle out to flatten it so that you've got a little pleated circle with your gather bit in the middle. So if you can squish that down as much as you can. So that looks quite attractive as it is, but we're going to cover the middle with a button. So we want to bring our needle up in the middle of our gathers. And then we're going to put the needle on the top. The button on the top. So there we go. Put the button on the top, go through it a few times to secure it. So you want to go right through to the back. Now, Ruth has commented, ooh-ee. I don't know whether that's the name of these things I'm making or whether she's just pleased to see us. Good morning, Ruth. So, just going to go through that again. And then tie it off. Just about run out of thread. Right. And then we'll cut that off. Oh, Cooey. Yes, hello. Sorry, that's Ruth replying. They're not called ooies. She's just saying Cooey as in a greeting. So there we go. That's our little whatever they're called. So what I would do with these, what you can do as well, where's bag, is what I would recommend you do, I should say. If you want to have a random pattern, fair enough. But if, like me, you're a little bit, you like things in straight lines, you need to mark your bag. Ah, where's my ruler? There it is. So what I would do is measure my bag, find the center, and maybe do a dot. And I would place these at regular intervals like that. So I'd maybe do like 9, so 3 by 3. That's a nice square design. You can do one side of the bag or both, depending on what you think. But they're nice, fairly simple. If you made bigger circles, so if you doubled the size of your circle, obviously your button thing, I'm going to keep calling them button things, would be twice the size as well. So they're quite simple to do, quite a nice way to decorate your bag. So that's one way. So, but today, my main demonstration today is going to be with ribbons and a plique. And what I'm going to make for my bag is this lovely ribbon heart. So it's got Bonda web on the back. You'll be pleased to know I've already started to peel it. If you've watched me before, you know we can spend 10 minutes trying to peel the back of Bonda web. So these are just bits of ribbon cut and then stuck onto the Bonda web to hold them together, and then the heart shape cut out. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate how I'm to do this. And to start with, we need our Bonda web. So here it is. It's paper on one side and it's like a glue matrix on the other. I've got my heart template. I haven't put one of these on, but I just did it in Word, use the heart shape. And what I'm going to do is trouble with my roll of Bonda web is it's nearly finished and it keeps wanting to shoot back up. I'll put the ruler on and try and hold it down. Pencil. So I'm going to draw around my heart shape on my Bonda web on the paper side, like that. And I'm going to cut that out. No, I'm not going to cut it out actually. I'm going to cut it out when it's done, when I've got the ribbons on it, because I tried this yesterday, obviously, making that other heart, and I cut the heart out first and I found it's quite difficult to get the ribbons on. I've got a selection of ribbons. I'm going to do them the same, roughly the same. And then what I will do is put one heart on each side of my bag. So I've got a selection already cut. I've got some nice sort of braid. I've got this gingham ribbon, that's quite pretty. I've gone with all greens just because it felt fresh. A little bit of narrower ribbon, some lace, some sort of finer organza with a stripe in it. What else have I got? I've got some thicker shiny satin, some more with spots on. This is another sort of lace. It's more like a broderie anglais lace. And I've got a piece of broader gros grain ribbon, which I'm going to put in the middle. What else have I got in here? Oh yeah, nice piece with gold on. So what I'm going to do, I've cut all of these about the same length. You want it so that your piece that's going in the middle, which is going to be like dark, this ribbon, is at least the length of your heart from top to bottom, and make all your other ribbons the same length. Now with Bonda web, you will need an iron, and I've got mine here, it's already on, and I've got an ironing pad which helps protect my table and helps reflect back the heat. So first thing to do is to lay, I'm just trying to think, I'm going to be better, I think, cutting the heart out. I'm trying to remember what I did yesterday. Can't even remember my name sometimes. I'm going to cut the heart out, and then I'm going to lay the ribbons down on the pad, then put the heart on top of it. Then I can see that they all fit. So you don't have to do a heart. You could do anything. You could do a large flower shape, would be nice. Even just a circle or a square, if that's what you like. You could weave your ribbons. That would make a nice effect. You could do like a patchwork effect with little squares. There's lots of things you can do. Bonda web's very versatile. It's one of my best friends because I don't sew very well. Okay, so pop that to one side. I'm going to make the pattern with my ribbons. I'm going to do it on my little ironing mat so I don't end up gluing anything to the table. So I'm going to put that broad piece in the middle. Then I think I will go for some of this. I'm going to cut them as I go. Some of them are a bit longer. Piece of the organza. Now remember, this is upside down. So where you put your, if you want to slightly overlay your ribbon, which I tend to do with the lace, you need to make sure that what you want on the front is underneath. Does that make sense? So for instance, this piece of lace, I want it to be on over the edge of this green ribbon. So it'll need to go underneath like that. Rather. So what I've got is, what I'm going to have is this scalloped edge over my ribbon. The others you can just lay side by side, put them up. So again, with this green ribbon and this lace, I want the scalloped edge to be over the ribbon a little bit. So I'm putting it over the scalloped edge. This lace, again, I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to lay that green ribbon over the top. It's quite a delicate process, this. put that nice braid one there, and this plain green at this side, just going slightly over my lace. Don't worry about them moving about a bit. They will move about a bit, but because the glue is see-through, you won't get it'll hold it together and you won't see gaps. I'll put a slightly wider one in there, put the gingham one. And got another wider one, got another piece of that green. I think that might be wide enough. Check with your heart. A little bit more. Let me see, what else have I got? I might put some more of that lace on. So like that. Put lace on at this side. Now obviously the ones that fall on the curved bit of the heart, you're going to get less of them. I don't know about that. I might just put these ribbons, because that's going to, we're only going to see a little bit of that. I'll put these braided ribbons on instead, and then green. Okay. Just try that. I'll try it with the heart template, and then I'm not. Well, almost there. We just need one more piece. Put another piece of that braid there. Okay, so my iron's nice and hot now. So what I'm going to do is place my heart, my Bonda web heart, glue side down, so that it glues all of this together. Now you'll notice with my braids as well, they're wrong side up because they're going to be right side down when I've glued them. So I'm going to place my heart on. Actually, I'm going to take that narrow one out and put that green one in. And just make it so that they all fit nicely and they've not moved too much. And then you come in with your iron. So this is nice and hot. Remember, glue side down, paper side up. Ow, told you it was hot. And we'll keep going until I'm certain it's absolutely stuck. So if I lift it up now, ta-da, all the ribbons stuck to the paper. So then you go around and trim the edges. So I'm using my good fabric scissors, and I'm going to just go around the edge, cutting off the long bits. Don't throw those away because you could use them for other things. Maybe not the tiny bits, but I tend to use all my fabric scraps for stuffing things. A little bit awkward with the point here to get, might come back and trim that afterwards. Ruth's asking if weaving the ribbons would. I think it would, because enough of your ribbon is going to be stuck to your Bonda web. Obviously where two pieces of ribbon cross like that, only the bottom one is going to be stuck to the Bonda web. If we have time, I might have a go after. But if they're going under and over, then enough of your ribbon will be stuck down to hold it straight. Let's get rid of those scraps. I'm not just throwing them on the floor down there. I do have a bin. Now I just wanted to just retrim that bit because it's right. Okay, so there's our heart. We've still got the paper on the back. This is our other heart. We're going to put one on each side of our bag. So where's the bag? Here we go. Now again, I said, you know, I said I'm quite precise about most of the time. I am quite often I will just do things by eye, but where did I put the ruler? There it is. But this time I'm going to be quite precise. I'm going to measure. So this bag is 42 centimeters in length, and it is roughly 36 width. So 42 would be 21. So the centre will be 21 centimeters. Now I've got my disappear and gel pen. So 21 centimeters is there. I'm just going to make a little mark. And then what did I say? 36. So that'll be 18. Yep. So that's the centre of my bag. So that is going to be the centre of my heart. So it's got. I'm going to put the heart slightly lower down. I'm going to measure the point with that little. That's how I'm going to stick. So the point is over that little dot. That's the centre. I'll just quickly mark the other side. I might be able to just see it through. No, I can't. We said 21, didn't we? At 18, so that's the middle. Now this mark will disappear when you iron it. That's the beauty of these pens, is that they're friction pens, so they disappear. Now what I'm going to do is put my heat mat in between the bag, because what I don't want to do is go right through and stick it together. This is quite a porous fabric, so that is a possibility. Maybe put that way, then I can. So I've got my trying to get my mat so that it needs to go a bit further in, because I'm going to put the point of my heart on that. Right. So the one I started to peel, the one I did yesterday, we'll put that one on first. I might have a go at the other one. I might not, because you know what it's like, me peeling things. So you just place it so the glue side is against your fabric bag. Take your iron and apply heat. And this will stick it. Now, as I said before, I would not trust this to keep it stuck forever. I will show you briefly how to embroider around the edges. So maybe a blanket stitch or even just a simple running stitch. Just check that's sticking. Just starting to stick now. You do need to apply quite a bit of pressure. So you're better off holding the iron flat rather than rubbing it. And eventually your glue melts and sticks it down. So we'll only do the one side because I'm going to show you the embroidery as well. I'm just going to switch the iron off because it's getting a little hot. Bear with me a second. Right. So that's fairly well stuck down. It's a little bit loose where the lace is, but I'm happy with that. So let me take that out. I'm going to show you some simple embroidery. Find my embroidery threads. You can see how well prepared I am today, not? And we want a nice bright green to match our other green. Now, normally I would split embroidery floss in half, but I'm going to leave it full because we want it to be we want it to show. So I shall cut that off. Try and find a needle with a big eye. I'm trying to decide whether to do blanket stitch or running stitch. I'll do the running stitch just because it's simpler. And it gives you a nice sort of folk-arty effect. So just knot your thread. So you'll need to come inside your bag and bring your ribbon up. I'll start at the point. Bring your needle up there. So I'm going in about 0.5 centimetre, like that, and then I'm just going to do a running stitch. Oh, do you know what I've done? I've gone right through both layers of the bag. Have an iron sharp. Let's cut that again. I don't know how I've done that. Oh, you are clever, Kate. Let me just snip it inside. I need to re-knot that thread. I probably couldn't have done that if I tried. Right. Start again. So inside the bag, come up there at the point. I know how I've done it. It's because I've got a pleat in the fabric. We did it again. Okay. And then, of course, you can do any stitch to do this. If you're good at embroidery, you could do a fancy stitch, but running stitch is just like we did with our gathers earlier, up and down. Now, I mentioned earlier, it's quite difficult to hold this. I did mention earlier that I had, you might use an embroidery hoop for this, that I'd made a bag with stiffer fabric, that kind of like ticking. It made a really good bag, but it was really hard to sew. I put little fabric hearts on it, little ones, and I was going to embroider around them like this. I couldn't get the needle through. I couldn't get it through the fabric, the 2 layers of fabric and the glue. I might have another go today. I want to put a thimble on, and then the thimble will protect my thumbs. Now, I just mentioned an embroidery hoop, and I think it's going to be easier with one. Let me just get one. I've got one the right size. I've got plenty. It's just finding one the right size. I bought a lot of these to make little. These are just really wooden hoops. They're not actual embroidery hoops. That one might fit. The reason I'm saying it'll make it easier is because it's awkward holding inside a bag. Whereas if you've got the frame, right in the middle, it provides a bit more stability to go up and down. Needs loosening a bit more. There we go. So you can see what I mean. I don't have to try and scrumple the fabric now. I can just go up and down like that. I've got a bit of a knot in my thread. So I'm just making nice even stitches through all the layers. Let's come away. Now that's the reason why I said it's a good idea to stitch around, because that's come apart. It probably wouldn't have done without me stabbing it, but in fact it's all coming through now. What I might do is run the iron over it again. I think it's because I keep getting my thread knotted. But that's going to hold now anyway with the stitching in it. I'll just do a couple more stitches. So you can see, can you see there? It's not showing up very well on the camera, but I started and I've stitched that far. So that's quite a good running stitch all the way around. So you would complete that and then do the other side, which I will do and try and show you the bag. I'm giving this to my sister-in-law because we're going to stay with them this week. And I thought, oh, I'll take that to my sister-in-law, Jean. Right, let's just hop back a bit. We talked about the weaving. Let's give it a go. I'm just going to cut a square of Bonda web. I'm trying to think. I really need something to draw around because we need to get it. No, I'll just wing it. We can draw on the paper afterwards. Oh, I can get the. I can cut the Bonda web. As I said, because it's getting to the end of the roll, it's curling up everywhere. I'll just cut these out and we'll do a bit of ribbon weaving and we'll see if we can get it to stick properly. Okay, we'll do it on the mat. I'll get this pale pastel ribbon. These are all narrow ones. So we'll try some ribbon weaving, just a little bit. These are quite pretty. We'll cut lengths about, we'll try and do a square, so we'll cut lengths about that size. Cut, I think I'll just do two colours. These are quite nice, these are gross grain ribbons, so they don't fraze easily and they've got a nice bound edge. And what should we do in between? Nice blue, yeah. We'll do this blue, this pale blue. And again, I'll cut some lengths. I think they're out there cutting the grass in our village. It's quite noisy. Okay, so I'm thinking of pinning it to keep it in place. Where's my other pins? There we go. That's a good idea. It'll hold it in place while I weave. Trying to think how to do this. Let's leave a gap, don't we? So long since we've done anything like this. I'm glad you brought it up, Ruth, because it's made it a bit more interesting. I found another use for my ironing mat. So then these will go under and over. Push that up to the top. Well, we'll keep it in the middle because I haven't cut a lot of ribbon. Oh, there's another piece of that there. That makes it a bit better. So you're getting a bit of ad hoc, on the go crafting here. I'm quite happy to give things a go. You know, people shout up, tell me what to do. I'm quite happy to take suggestions. Not easy this though, a bit awkward. So there we go. Yep, like that. Then that one's going the other way. So we're going under and over, under and over. I'm sure you know how weaving goes. I have done this before, but not with Bonda web. Make a nice bookmark. We'll just do a little bit. Now I'm going to pin the top ones because that will keep the rest in place, stop them moving upwards. Put the last ribbon in. Push them up so they butt against each other, and then I'll pin that one as well. And I've turned the iron off, haven't I? Let me put it back on again. It heats up quite quickly. Oh, I've got two going the same way there. Have I done that? Ah, take that one out. That one. And then that one. Just you chat among yourselves. Right. Why have I got? That's not right. Why is it not right? Never mind. It's to go under, over. I don't know what I was doing there. Under, over, under. That's right. I don't know why I did that. Why I couldn't see that before. Right. Put them up against each other. Now I'm going to cut this piece of Bonda web because my pins are going to be in the way. I'll just cut a narrow piece. And I'll pin the Bonda web down. Bet you wish you'd never asked now, Ruth. Right, put my Bonda web over it, glue some. I've seen a problem. I'm going to have to cut it to fit because otherwise I'll be gluing my mat. This is why I should have drawn the shape out first. Let's just fold that over. I can always peel the glue off my mat. Just noticed Laura's watching as well. Laura's my friend who lives in the village. Right. That's all glued. I think I've probably glued it to the mat as well now. Take the pins out. Let's hope it works. But if not, we'll just go back to doing the ribbons not woven. Okay, so now's the big reveal. Peel that up. Ta-da! Apart from that ribbon moving, that's worked really well. I could cut that ribbon out actually. In fact, I will. So if I cut this along there, because you would trim it anyway. So there, that's quite nice. I mean, you can imagine if you did a big piece. I could try attempting to peel the back off it. See if it stays together. I say attempting because I am absolutely rubbish. Oh, there, it's come. Just a little bit. It's pulling apart a little bit when I take the back off. But that will then glue onto a piece of fabric. That's nice. So well done, Ruth. Yes, you can do ribbon weaving. Right, that's my time up. It's almost lunchtime. I am going to review everything and look at comments. If you're watching later, let me just tip the camera up. If you're watching later on hashtag on, honestly, can't get my words out today. If you're watching later on catch up, please comment hashtag replay. And just a final thing, I don't know whether Do you remember my little dog Jack? Unfortunately, poor little Jack passed away last week. So we're now dogless. So he won't be joining us on the virtual village hall anymore. But I'm sure the new dog will, because I can't live without a dog. So we'll be getting another one reasonably soon. My husband doesn't agree. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.